Alexander Lancaster here at Two Wolf Studio and Artist Den, and I am here with Truth. Now, Truth, that name has a meaning. Tell us a little bit about that name real quick.
Yeah, Truth is an acronym, man, for True Rhymes, uniquely teaching honesty.
Nice. So, Truth, man, you explain what kind of music you do. For the people that have not ever heard of you, this is Meet the Artist. And, like, that's what I like to do is like, this is the first time I've been able to talk to you as well. But you have played shows here in Topeka before. I've seen that. And, just give us a little bit of explanation of what you do, what kind of music you make, what you're about, man.
Word, man. Well, first off, thanks for having me on the show. I'm a hip hop artist. I consider myself a vocalist, but I do a majority of hip hop vocals. You know what I'm saying? And I do many different styles of hip hop music. And so I'm not really necessarily in any particular subgenre of hip hop or rap music. I kind of started off doing kind of like I was inspired by like golden era backpack hip hop, always inspired by lyricism, but I kind of just do every style that I admire, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah, man. So talk a little bit about your style of music and what you do, because I'm listening to it. I see this positive message, and just like your acronym, like it follows through. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, basically, so I guess like I do like reality rap, right? And I grew up kind of doing everything that the cliche rap music kind of talks about, but I didn't ever want to put that in the music unless it was for like strictly testimonial purposes. So I don't like to glorify a lot of the lifestyles that they glorify in rap music these days, you know what I'm saying, selling drugs and all these other things that can kind of have like a negative effect on people. And so, yeah, like I just try to do music that's like motivational and inspiring. But I also feel like those are two very like fleeting emotions that people encounter, right? So like people like motivational speakers. I have songs where I've like sampled motivational speakers like Les Brown, and all that is great, right? To kind of like light a fire. But if you want to keep a fire burning, I feel like I try to push a message of more resilience and determination, just because people deal with adversity. And, I like to try to encourage people to go after like their goals, even if they're not like musicians. People have goals in the world, sometimes they're pursuing like education and stuff like that. And,
man, that's what Meet the Artist is all about. We have a lot of conversations about like kind of trying to make sure you influence other people along the way, and that's one thing that, again, like I was drawn to, like, wow, okay, like this guy's got this great message of sharing, his knowledge and helping others, extending that ladder,
Right.
Yeah. And so like, what's the message to the youth? What's your message, man?
I also do a lot of advocacy for like mental health awareness and stuff. So basically the message is kind of like I would say that we're living in like very interesting times, right? And so I've always preached a message of like going for your dreams, right? That my message to people is that your dreams can come true, but like I'm a very realistic person, so I always reinforce that statement with the fact that it takes hard work, right, and dedication. So sometimes it's about trial and error to pursue your dreams. Like some people do have to absolutely go and go through the educational system if you're trying to pursue degrees in particular fields in order to accomplish goals. In music, that's not necessarily the case. And so I've done some things that people might consider like risk-taking approach. I had the opportunity to be on Van's Warped Tour for a couple of years, and basically how I got that opportunity was I was managing a band that won a contest, and I had heard that you could kind of volunteer and get on the tour and just, get involved in that way. And so I found a vendor that wanted me to buy a product, and they ended up, asking if I wanted to like sell product for them that day, and invited me on the rest of the tour to, sell product for them. And that, opened up doors for me and stuff like that. And I was kind of having to like hitchhike a little bit to get to each day, like driving for different vendors and just like kind of trying to find my way around it. So I tell people that sometimes um, I I encourage you to not necessarily just wait for opportunities to arise, like make opportunities for yourself.
Yeah, man. And you just brought up hitchhiking. So obviously, like you had to kind of like do it on your own. And then you talk about taking risk,
Right.
Where you come from in life, man? What kind of, like what was your youth as a background? What was that? What was that like, man?
So like I was saying, I kind of had like the cliche rapper upbringing, as far as my mom worked a lot, right? And so I, befriended folks in my neighborhood, and we were out running the streets. And some of my closest friends were kind of notorious, as far as they were like a big deal in the neighborhood. Um, Criminal activity, you know what I'm saying? Just like being involved in any of the things that you might hear the average rap music talk about. Um, and like that's what had caused me to, as I got older and older and became more aware of like how influence was a big deal in the rap game and how I could influence people. Basically, um I didn't really have a plan B, right? And so I dropped out of high school. I wanted to go to college. My mom kind of was trying to force me to stay in high school. And so I was like in a limbo for a while, but I always knew I wanted to do music. And so that was like the only thing that mattered to me. And all I knew was basically selling drugs, right? And so I ended up kind of getting to the
So
point
where'd you
that
grow up, bro?
I grew up in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Yeah, okay.
Most people are familiar with Albuquerque through the show Breaking Bad, right? And they always ask me if it's like that. It's kind of a lot worse than how it's depicted in the show, and it's gotten worse and worse. Which is I also feel like they just don't really have a lot of things to aspire to be out here, right? And so sometimes I'm just doing my best to try to like create avenues so where I could give back to the community and provide, some sort of outlet for kids to get involved in something creative or educational, or just, influence them in some sort of positive way,
Yeah.
so that they don't really necessarily like look up to their surroundings so much, right? Um, so I was homeless for a long time. That's kind of how I like adopted like the mentality to like live out the backpack and hitchhike. And I figured that if I was going to be homeless, I might as well travel, right? Because it just made more sense
Yeah.
to, if I was going to be living on couches.
So is that how? So are you living in New Mexico still, or you in St. Louis?
No. I was spending a lot of time in St. Louis last year. A lot of, what, it's so funny too, is because
Because
I
that's
just
the only
travel
reason why I
so
asked is
much.
because just visiting your Facebook page and stuff.
Right. Um, Actually, I it's I'm in New Mexico right now. The pandemic has caused me to probably have more stability than I ever had in life, just because the whole world had shut down for a while.
Yeah.
And so I just felt like coming back to New Mexico was the best thing to do, because I wanted to be around family and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
So give us a little bit more about what you're doing. You got a new music coming out. I mean, I seen a video, you reached out to me, and I appreciate that, brother. I really do. That was really cool. And listened to your music, and then caught a few more, and went to your Facebook page, which is your Facebook page is
The artist page is Facebook /TRURYMES. So True Rhymes.
True
Um,
Rhymes.
or
Yeah.
if you were to search it, it would just be the acronym Truth
Truth.
with periods in between the letters.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so like the identification, like the indicator would be the profile picture is a Victorian key with a puzzle piece handle. That's my logo. And so, yeah, I appreciate you listening to the song. Like I said, I
Yeah, a
kind of
lot
do
of them
all kinds.
actually. I mean, I went back and you have a one that's on your Facebook page that's pinned. It's called Monster. I was checking that out. That was cool too. You got a lot of
Right.
stuff. You've been doing it for a while. How long have you been doing this, man?
I've been doing music for about 17 years. I became a recording artist when I was 16. I had been rapping for a couple years previous to that. I got my start with a local band here in New Mexico that my uncle used to be in called Cultura Fuerte that would mix a lot of like Latin, a Latin music fused with hip hop. So like
Nice.
merengue and salsa and different things like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
You know, we had some mariachis in the group when they first started. And so I've always loved playing with live musicians. Anytime that I can, I play with live bands. That's actually kind of how we met. Is I'll go to like open mics and open jams and kind of just vibe with musicians there and see like if they have a house band playing. I'll just see if they can kind of come up with something on the spot, and I'll kind of do adaptations of my songs to whatever they're playing, and that caused me to meet the captain. If
Uh-huh.
we're, I don't know if we're allowed to cuss or whatever, but yeah, Captain Thunderfuck.
Yeah,
Uh,
you could cuss. It's all right.
that's cool, man. Man, why am I not? His actual name is slipping my mind, but yeah, that's how we ended up meeting. Is
So
just jamming.
you had a background in music growing up then. Like you had some influences growing up then. Is that what you're
Right.
saying?
Yeah, absolutely. My family is full of musicians. They usually were in kind of just like bands that would play. They have kind of like their own style of Spanish music out here in New Mexico, and that's what a lot of my like older generation of family were playing. And then just musicians are in my family. Even like my uncles, I have like tons of aunts, right? And so it was like
Yeah.
I have one actual blood uncle, and then the rest of my uncles married into the family. But there's some musicians that
Yeah.
married into the family as well, and just all kinds of different musical backgrounds from punk rock to metal to that's kind of how I got weathered in hip hop. Is I used to like rock music when I was a kid. When I told them that I got into rap music, they were like, we got to make sure to introduce you to the right types of rap music in their perspective, right? Because they didn't
So
want me
that was
listening
like
to.
Will Smith or something?
No,
No.
actually, you know what? That's funny though. Is I really liked Will Smith when I was a kid before I had like real
Same.
uh eclectic musical taste. Like I was getting jiggy with it for sure.
Right on, man. So let's talk a little bit more about. I want to continue that conversation about your background and your family and the music and so like a lot of different music was going on in your family. Everybody had like different genres or something.
Yeah, everybody was into different things, right? Like I had one of my aunts was really into like hip hop, kind of like the a tribe called Quest type of
Yeah, I
stuff,
love that.
but
Yeah.
along with like pop music, right? So like really into Madonna.
Yeah.
Um my dad was really into music and very eclectic in his own right. A lot of like rock and roll music, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Boston and Kansas and
Yeah.
just bands like that, Led Zeppelin and anything. And plus along with a very like R&B, right? I could definitely say that I definitely got my R&B bug from my dad. He used to bump like Aaliyah and
Right
and
on.
Vogue and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
that's where a lot of you know those tastes in music came from.
Awesome. So how's that reflecting the music that you are making? Because I think I can see a little bit of influence of like kind of loving that rock or loving that hard point, or just kind of doing a little bit of hip hop and doing a little bit of R&B kind of sounds too. I see it go all different directions. So is that an influence?
Yeah, definitely influenced by everything. Even to the point that, like, my sister was really into like indie rock and stuff like that, right? And so I try to like make a little goulash with all of those music flavors
Yeah. Yeah.
that I still love and was raised on. And so
Yeah.
I'm always questing to try to like pay homage to the styles of music that I like and try to
Yeah.
find a sound that's unique, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I call it a gumbo because I'm from the South. I'm from
Okay.
Louisiana, that Mississippi
Right.
area. And yeah, I
Yeah.
call it a gumbo. Our gallery is quite like that too. You'll find some different kind of art, and you'll find some art that's like, you'd see in normal gallery or regular galleries. I don't want to say normal, but yeah, regular galleries. And
Right.
then, like, yeah, you find some very strange stuff too that you may not see in any gallery in Kansas. It's like we're
Right.
pushing the
Some
envelope a
off the
little bit.
wall.
Yeah, yeah, of course, man. So you do that too, then, huh? You just take these genres and you kind of like see where you could take them.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I've always been striving to try to create a sound that nobody's heard before, which has also been a little bit of struggle in the journey because to truly be unique is to be truly misunderstood, right? And
Right.
so luckily for me, I do have like a core fan base that has a very eclectic music taste, because sometimes I'll attract somebody with a certain song, right? The song that I usually send out to folks, I don't know if you heard that one, is about suicide, right? And that
Yeah.
one kind of has like a
Yep.
like metal tones and screams and stuff in there. And so not everybody technically likes every song that I'm putting out. The core fans seem to support everything, even
Yeah.
this one. I was a little afraid. I'm always very nervous to put out my next release because they always sound different from the
I hope
last.
so. Yeah. I hope so. I hope you're always nervous, man. That means you care about it.
Right.
Absolutely.
And it's just it's fun, man. I get to touch, like, I said, I grew up listening to like certain versions of hip hop, and then I strayed away from even trying to make those for a while because I was wanting to develop my own sound, right? And so I've just recently been able to go back to some of those tones. I have a song called Unexpected that's like real soulful, kind of like golden era hip hop sounding ish, with the woman singing on the chorus. Kind of might remind you of like Talib Kweli or something like that in that area, or Common. And I love the Midwest too, just because they're always doing something real creative in the Midwest. And I loved being out there with you
Oh
guys
yeah.
because there's so many like great musicians, and so I'm always definitely trying to push the envelope.
Oh yeah, man. Your messages in your songs are there, and it's easy. I mean, I don't want to say easy because I don't know if it's easy because I'm a visual artist, but I also try to have messages in my art, and you have a message in your art as well. And your name is Truth. So with Truth, there has to be a message. What's your message, brother?
My message is basically, when it comes down to it, is to love yourself and love others,
Yeah.
real like we deal with a lot of destruction in the world. And sometimes you have to let it out. I feel like my message is to experience life. I always tell people, especially because I have like an open door policy with my fans, and when you advocate for mental health awareness, some folks are dealing with like severe cases of mental health things versus other cases, right? And so some folks, they just want to be heard sometimes, and it can be a process sometimes, trying to be encouraging to somebody who's having a bad day. I just try to remind people
Yeah.
that there's a whole spectrum of things that you experience in life, as far as emotional, and you have to take the bad with the good, because you can't wake up. Life would be boring if it was one way all the time, right? And so
So true.
it throws curveballs at you. And I just try to, like, you know, show people that, like, if you embrace even things you weren't necessarily like feeling like you were calling into your life, um obstacles can teach you things, and they can be um great parts of life to experience, versus if you were to just wake up and have everything go your way every day, you know.
It's so true, man. How did you get involved in this? Yeah. How do you get involved in this?
How did I get involved in like the mental health stuff?
Yeah, you're speaking a lot about mental health and suicide. What's
Right.
your involvement? What brought you close to paying attention? I mean, I hope that maybe your music will do the same thing for others,
Right.
and bring that message and inspire them to listen to others, and like try to figure out ways to, be there and help, and always have somebody to talk to. But what got you involved in this?
Well, basically, there was like a couple of things I could say. Is I had a very dear friend of mine commit suicide when I was probably 18 or 19, and that's one of the stories that I tell in the song. How could you? The first verse is about that person. The second verse is about another friend of mine I was doing music with for many years, who would always talk about like a self-induced overdose. And so I can't necessarily say whether they passed away because they did it on purpose or if it was an accident, but they wrote lyrics in songs about, self-inducing an overdose. And so the song's about those two folks. And I kind of was just, I was like traveling one time, and kind of just got like a what you might consider like a vision, right? Like message given to me by like my higher power, telling me that like music, my music journey wasn't like for like fame or wealth or anything like that, and like it was for more of a like a community based type of situation. And I had also experienced some things in my life. I'm very spiritual. I've dealt with a lot of spiritual warfare that some folks don't necessarily understand when I was younger. And I tried
Yeah,
to
man.
confide in a family member, uh, like my sister and, my aunt both came up with uh,
Yeah, man.
this idea to kind of like put me in a, they were trying to have me like psychologically evaluate,
Uh-huh.
they
Uh-huh.
were trying to have me like evaluated, and they tried to go about it in like a surprise situation, right? So like I have my first EP is called Therapy Session, and in the beginning skit for that EP, it kind of like reenacts the situation. Police officers show up at my mother's house, and they asked if they can speak to me, and I
So
have a
it was like an intervention, except for it was just the cop showed up.
right, yeah, because it was the situation gets explained pretty thoroughly in the skits if folks want to go
Where do we
check that
find
out or
that?
whatever.
Tell them where to find that for me.
Therapy Session you can find on basically any streaming platform under Truth, all caps, the acronym, or um
Is it
True
on
Rhymes
YouTube?
Uniquely Teaching Honesty. You can YouTube. It's not on my YouTube channel, but it is on YouTube. If you were to look up Truth, Therapy
Okay.
Session, the EP will come up. Yeah. And so yeah, basically those situations caused me. And then I went through a lot of things in my life where I felt like I was battling demons and stuff like that. I used to be like heavy into partying and heavy drug use and stuff like that. And since calmed down on those ends, but it was basically like me trying to figure out. I never wanted to talk to therapists, right? And that's why the album's called Therapy Session, because I felt like music is my form of therapy. I have a song called
Nice.
My
Yeah.
Kind of Therapy, and we push a hashtag MKOT, that's what it stands for, is my kind of therapy. We're just basically, I know that some folks don't like the forms of therapy that they're given, right? You know, people say go talk to psychiatrists. Some people don't want to do that. But I feel like some people have healthy outlets, right? I'm an artist myself. I do visual art as well, like acrylic on canvas. And that's like a therapeutic thing that I
For
kind of,
sure. Yeah.
go towards other than music. And I know that people have tons of different things that they're into. As far as like some folks like to be athletic and that's how they get their aggressions out and stuff like that, or they like to practice martial arts. You know what I'm saying? It's like what we do is we try to push the most healthy versions of what some people might consider a taboo form of therapy, right?
Yeah.
So folks who self-harm, I would encourage them, instead of self-harming, I understand that pain can be a release for folks. I quite enjoy, when I'm in certain moods, the pain that comes from tattooing, and that's another form of therapy for
For
me,
sure.
is like to
Yeah.
receive tattoos. And I know that people like to do body modification and scarification,
Hell, sun tanning is a
piercing and
body
stuff.
modification, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I like
You're
that. I
burning
always love
yourself in
those.
the sun.
Right. Yeah, I dig that. That's that's not my thing. I'll be trying to hide from the sun. My mom's that person. My mom likes to be in the sun and tan, and I'm like, oh my god, get me an umbrella out here. But
For
but yeah, I
real.
get it, man. I get that.
Hell yeah,
So yeah, those.
man. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying, like, those are the things that we kind of try to advocate for. I'm trying to develop programs, just to because
Yeah.
I was homeless. I'm trying to, a lot of what our homeless population is made up of is folks that are dealing with mental health issues, right? And
Yeah.
so we're trying to create programs to help people with housing and, um, you know,
Right on, man. That's
jobs and
awesome.
stuff like that.
Dude, that's awesome. And the only reason why I bring up, sun tanning and doing these other kind of things is because yes, there is a different, the world is really actually like that. You may think, oh my God, if I only had this or if I had that, then I wouldn't have this kind of pain. But there is going to be certain pains. I don't care where you're at. There's going to be
Right.
certain pains. And the pains that we want to choose is the pains that we should have in a way,
Right.
instead of feeling like pains are being inflicted on us. So you got a lot of truth, man, when you're talking about that stuff, man. Yes, yeah, have a tattoo and like, oh yeah, stay away from pain. No, find your pain. It's like drama. People are like, I don't really like drama, but we always order up our own drama on like Netflix or Prime Video or
Right.
something like,
Absolutely.
so grab it. And I will tell you this much: you want to experience some stuff and listen to some lyrics that will take you on a story. Go look up Truth, man. Truth is pretty badass, and I'm just gonna say thank you so much for contacting me, and I really enjoy that. I look back and I was like, I seen you was here on the 15th of last year, which
Yeah.
that soldier stuff because COVID was happening and you're still touring. So good for you, man. Good for you for
Hey.
staying strong, brother. Are you coming back to Topeka anytime soon?
Yeah, we're trying to set up a tour in September. That might be themed around the song "How Could You" and Suicide Prevention Month. And so definitely looking forward to getting back out there, either to the Booby Trap or a different venue out there potentially. I don't know if you host events, but maybe we can organize an event in your art space. And
We do, but
um,
we don't sell liquor or we don't so we have an art gallery that has music and we have a stage and then we have a PA and all that stuff. So
right.
yes, we have a bar next door if people want to get to go drinks or whatever. But yeah, that's the kind of venue that we have. And
Oh,
actually
that's fine with me, man.
with that theme, dude, I would love for you to be here and do that with
Yeah,
us,
I would
man.
love to do
I really would.
some
So
pieces.
when we get done talking, we'll make arrangements for
Yeah, for
sure.
sure, man.
That's awesome,
Sounds
man.
good. I'd love to put some artwork up in your gallery as well, man.
For sure,
Do some
dude.
special pieces for you guys, and you know,
Talk a little bit about your artwork real quick. Got a few minutes
Oh,
left.
yeah. So basically I started doing art. Another friend of mine that just recently passed away, was a huge, like, he was like a crazy dope artist, did graffiti, did other forms of artwork. And we were sitting around one day, he was doing some canvas stuff, and I just decided to pick up a brush. I'd kind of always sketched up things and doodled, and I realized that we could sell artwork at our merch booth and kind of have us stand out a little bit, because I hadn't seen too
Nice.
many
Yeah.
people do that. So yeah, I would take like pieces of cardboard and cut them up, and I do kind of, I just recently, in honor of him, I did a collection of like these skulls. They kind of look like hearts. So like it was like a traditional kind of heart with the arches, and then on the bottom it went down into like a skull, right, with teeth and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just kind of do what it like inspires me. I do a lot of like real artsy backgrounds with like tongue-in-cheek, like pop culture art. I did a collection that was like a lot of superhero comic, like toilet humor. Did a piece that was like Wolverine, just like his back shot, and he had like slashes on his, like, on his ass cheeks, where it looked like the claws came out while he was trying to wipe himself or something like that. I like to have fun with it.
Nice. Yeah. That's kind of stuff we like to show here. So yeah, let me know about it for sure,
Okay.
man. I appreciate it, dude. Give everybody a ways to listen to your music. I know you have a few different platforms that you use. Send a few platform links.
Okay. Actually, the easiest way, I try to make it like the easiest for people. So if you type in hashtag MKOT into YouTube, the description for my videos will have a link tree that'll send you to all the social medias and all the streaming platforms that you can find
Right
me,
on.
or you can just search True Rhymes, uniquely teaching honesty, or the acronym Truth.
Right on, dude. It's been a pleasure having you here. And really, I'm going to have to get back and talk with you again because you got so much truth. Right
Yeah,
on.
yeah, definitely, man. Thank you
There's
for
so
having
much
me. I'm
truth,
so
bro. I
honored.
appreciate you, man. This has
Appreciate your
been Meet
time,
the
man.
Artist. I'm here with Truth. Go check his music out, and hopefully he'll be back here in Topeka soon. Again, man, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. I'm messing up. I always ask my guest two favorite songs, whether it's today or just all-time favorite. Two favorite songs.
Today, you know what? I've been really rocking that Kansas song. What is it?
Carry On.
Carry On. Yeah, Carry On's a really good one, man.
Nice, bro.
And then, man, just like another song, all-time favorite. Let's say, I'm doing an interview. I'll be right back up. I'll be right there. Man, I don't know. Probably Bohemian Rhapsody,
Nice, brother. Thank you so much. We are running out of time, and thank you again for being here,
Yeah,
dude.
thank you, man.
I've been with Truth. I'm Alexander Lancaster. This is Meet the Artist on KFDF CB Radio.